Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Things We Play, a gaming podcast that comes out fortnightly and it's by us. Who are we?
I'm Sean Hart.
Sean Hart.
And Cheryl Cat.
And I'm Mike Oldman. We should probably explain before we get going the setup that we got for recording here, which may explain some of the sounds you're hearing. We are all sat around and a big echoey wooden table that's not tall enough for your legs, Sean.
No.
But we're making do.
Yeah.
But just in case it seems a little bit echoey, that is because it is a little bit echoey.
High ceilings.
High ceilings. So, with that aside, let's move on. I thought, actually, since the first episode, no one knows who the hell we are. No one cares who the hell we are.
No.
And over the course of the weeks to come, weeks, months, years to come, perhaps.
They still won't.
They still won't. But in order to help that, to facilitate that relationship going forwards, I thought we could start off by just talking a little bit about ourselves in terms of gaming. So, what games is it that we really like? Where are we coming from? Are you a first-person shooter guy? Are you a football girl? Odd choice.
Odd choice.
Perhaps. But this is what we will learn. And so we'll just go and kick off that. Guys, girls, what are your games?
Well, yeah, Final Fantasy VII is going to be what I'm
It had to come up, didn't it?
plumping for. It's either that or Ocarina. I mean, both are the first time.
They're both good games.
First time you play them are mind-blowing.
Final Fantasy VII, though, it's kind of done, isn't it? I mean, are we still hearing love for the game?
Yeah, definitely. It was where Square definitely peaked with the Fantasy VII series. I mean, Cheryl will argue Final Fantasy VIII and lose every time because 8 was fucking shit.
Yeah, well, I'd say Final Fantasy VII was the last one I did. The last one I really got into, and it was the time and place, and it was PS1 and FMV and shitloads of discs, and it was cool. I haven't really got into Final Fantasy since.
10 was pretty good. It weren't bad.
10 online?
PS2, no. It is 11 was online. But the characterizations in 7, I mean, it was a bit Japanesey. There was a lot of unanswered questions, but the characterizations were.
I don't remember.
I think it's because it had the definitive bad guy with Sephiroth, and they've never really managed to capture that bad guy again in Final Fantasy series. And yeah, he's pretty badass. You got to admit, with Katana.
All right, I'm gonna give it that. I don't remember much about it. I remember Eris dying, and I remember motorbikes and chocobos.
Yeah,
and like a theme park type world.
Yeah, Golden Saucer.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I think it was quite an emotional ride. I think it was one of those that was close to crying on.
I don't know that close.
I think the reason I bring up crying in games is only because, Cheryl, your game you want to talk about was Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I take it, and the brilliant segue there is that is a game that made me cry. Which is
really?
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
Sad,
no, it is ridiculous. But the moment, I tell you what, there's loads of moments in it that just get me as one of my favourite games of all time. And it's the bit where Meryl gets shot, and Snake can't get to her because he's pinned down from Sniper Wolf, and her dad rings you, Campbell rings you on the codex and stuff. It's nuts. That bit gets me.
Okay, yeah, that's quite amusing, but I understand where you're coming from.
But it's kind of full of moments like that. I don't know, what is it for you that makes Metal Gear stand out?
I think obviously the story.
That's when the story was good.
It's one of those things where I think now, especially with 4, if you've never played the originals, then you're going to be lost as hell. But I was enthralled by it. Obviously, most people were like, "Oh, it's just way too long, the sequences for the video." But I loved it. I could have just sat there and watched it. I didn't care about playing the game itself.
It's true.
It would have been a great movie for me to watch.
I think that was it though. It was movie-like. That was the first time you put in the game with the credits coming up on the screen as you're playing, as he's going in under the water and stuff. And that I remember blowing my freaking mind. And then just the characters are so cool.
Yeah.
Liquid Snake is one of the best bad guys ever.
Yeah. Ocelot as well.
Ocelot, yeah. Mm-hmm. He loves to reload during a battle. And then
even heroes are
Grey Fox, man.
Frankie's just gangster.
His abs, yeah.
Gangster number one.
The first time we were down that corridor and you've seen all like dead bodies and stuff, and then that fight in the office with Ninja is just amazing.
Yeah.
It was little things at the time as well that were like really kind of new, or just like little bits of icing on the cake, like the papers flying up when you shoot the office as it go around. Stuff like that was mental. And then the ending with the ninja, where his spoilers, where his arm gets cut off and he gets crushed by Rex. All that's kind of cool. But the other bit that really got me is the bit where you kill Sniper Wolf as well, and he gives her back a handkerchief. You know, and not Ocelot, Holocron is going nuts because he's in love with her. That bit's amazing.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. It is a standout moment in history.
Production's huge as well. Yeah. You know, it's got a Hind D in it. They're not cheap. And on music, was it Harry Gregson Williams that does all the music?
Yeah. Was it the same guy for the second one?
He definitely did the second one, didn't he?
The second one was the guy that did Head of State.
Enemy of the State.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Harry Gregson Williams. Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he did the first one as well. But that's kind of nuts. So that would probably have been my choice as a trio for like a badass game that kind of everyone loves. But given that's already come up, it's probably going to be Halo. Again, kind of story stuff. No, you're not feeling it, Charlie.
I think it's a sketchy story at best.
Ooh.
At best, it's sketchy.
Low blow.
It's just, I don't know.
And the bit where you find the flood for the first time, he's looking through the helmet of the downed guy.
Yeah, you talk about that a lot.
Madness, man.
I don't even remember that moment.
Really?
No. Halo 1 doesn't really... it's not in my head.
There's something about that. That and just there's so much story like everywhere through it. It's all the dialogue from the Marines as you're going along and stuff. And, hey, Chief, come over here. Wow, it's the biggest thing I've ever seen. Stuff like that. Or when they just down someone and the AI for the co-op dudes would just walk up to a dead body and just pepper it a few times with bullets. So that sells it for me. It's awesome.
The story though, like I'm more enthralled by the adverts they did for it. Like for Reach, every single one they did for them made me want to play the game. So I thought that looks awesome. But then you play the game and you're like, it's all a bit sketch.
Halo hater.
No,
not a hater. Yeah, just not a lover.
Reach is, in terms of kind of, I felt that the team in that Noble Six have more character than John.
Yeah, but I mean that's their point, isn't it? The whole point was I wanted to get away from this faceless chief.
You feel a bit more attached.
But I've not gone with that. I like
as they're getting
chief
picked off one at a time. I feel you've got more emotional attachment to Noble Six.
But do you really feel like you have more attachment to Noble 6, or are you just in those moments attaching to the other characters that are then dying? Because that's kind of the weird thing is you're getting into more of a... It almost doesn't matter as much it's less about who you are and more about the surrounding guys. Whereas I thought Halo was kind of more about Master Chief, although he didn't really have much to him. Yeah. It was still his experience going through it. There's no real supporting characters outside of Johnson and Gary Spark or whatever. But it just felt more Call of Duty like in that sort of almost quantum leaping from section to section in Reach. I still liked it was still cool and those characters were awesome. But did you get enough of each one by having it broken down? Would you have liked just an Emil story, for example?
No, I think just an Emil story would have been quite boring. Obviously, he probably is the most loved character out of the team.
It's George.
You reckon?
Really?
Yeah, George is...
sheer popularity, not just your personal favourite.
No, my personal favourite is George.
No, but I'm saying sheer popularity. Emil is probably awesome. the most.
Emil, I know everyone goes to Emil because they're like, he's got a funny scratch skull into his helmet and he's a black dude and that makes him cool. He's got a big knife. But it's George, man. He's got the heart. And he just dies the way he dies. Oh, it gets me. So George every time.
But I think I'm reaching my game out of the Halo series definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's better. I mean, we put in a ridiculous amount of time. We're actually looking today at the amount of hours we put into that game, and it's like over 100 now for both of us.
Yeah.
And it's a good 50 odd for you.
58, I think sure it was.
Which is a lot. It is a lot, and that ain't stopping anytime soon. No. I must have put 4 hours into it today, just trying to get revenge kills for the daily challenge, weekly challenge. And now I just want to go back. Like I kind of don't want to be recording a podcast. I want to kind of be on Halo. You know when you just have runs where you're just like, shit, I'm amazing. You know, so you can sit there and you look back and you're like, whoa, I'm not supposed to think that, but I'm like, that was amazing.
Yeah, very occasionally I have runs like that.
Yeah.
Mostly I think I'm shit.
But it's the game that gives me that the most out of any other game, and I think that's largely why I keep playing it. So
I think I stand more of a chance. It's a more level playing field with the overshields and stuff.
True.
For Call of Duty and Battlefield and those sorts of games, every time I picked up a controller on multiplayer, I've literally walked 2 foot and been sniped.
Yeah, but you're getting more into like Team SWAT now as well. I'm sort of enjoying that, and that is the most Call of Duty like.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's DMRs aren't quite sniper rifles in terms of scoping, so it's not like someone's just plotting somewhere and picking you off.
Got to be vigilant, man.
Yeah,
vigilant.
But I just don't get on with.
Are you
the war ones?
I don't know. All right, okay. All right. Well, look. Let's go on. Look, it's called Things We Play. Those were things we played. It's now time to talk about things that we actually play and the things that we've been playing recently. There's been quite a lot of stuff out recently.
Yeah.
You know, we've had Portal 2, we've had Mortal Kombat. There's been a couple of other releases. What's sitting? All right. This is how we're going to do it. What's sitting in your Xbox 360 right now, Sean?
Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
Because I'm not at home and my bird is playing it.
But I tell you what, it looks bloody good.
It's obviously. I've also played Lego Star Wars Clone Wars recently. Pirates, is a lot better.
It just graphically, it looks really nice. The lighting's like really, really good, and all of a sudden the Lego looks like Lego now. It looks much more real. And it looks wicked. And Pirates of the Caribbean, I've got to say, is a much better license to get me interested in Lego than Star Wars is. Mainly probably because I used to love Pirate Lego as a kid. Because like, Pirate Lego actually exists, you know? It's kind of weird. Like, does that still exist? Do they still have Pirate Lego and now Pirates of the Caribbean Lego?
I don't know.
They are best people on that immediately. So what's it like? Is it good?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I am enjoying it. Well,
it's all 4 films, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which reminds me, actually, I got invited to an advanced premiere thing of the 4th film next Wednesday.
It sounds like a good opportunity to repay Cheryl for the Halo launch.
I've only got. I can't interchange it. It's a work thing. There's only one of us. It's very important. All right, yeah. So it's got the 4th film in there. It's got all of them, hasn't it? All 4 films. Okay.
And I think they're broken down into 5 chapters per film.
That's really like nice and handy. 5 per film. I was going to say. I thought you were saying all 4 films were broken into 5 parts overall, which made no sense.
No.
Like Peter Jackson had done it. Alright, yeah, that looks cool. I'm quite impressed with that. What is in your 360 right now, Sharon?
Was Brink.
That's not what the question wasn't what was in your 360. The question was what is in your 360.
Well, virtual tennis.
Oh.
New one.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said Brink. Virtual tennis. No one cares.
No, some people care. So I'm fairly interested in virtual tennis and the fact that like tennis is just tennis, right?
Yeah.
Like, has a tennis game got any better since Super Tennis? Or Pong?
It's more technical.
Yeah.
Is it more technical?
Yeah.
So
I mean, top spin is. Because
okay.
the top spin, you can kind of lob it and...
Yeah, but you can do that in other tennis.
But I think you can then add spin and stuff to it.
I'm pretty sure as well that's the kind of standard stuff that must have been around.
No,
I don't think virtual tennis has got that sort of stuff.
Spinning they have now.
Oh,
they've made it a tiny bit more realistic, whereas it's not as simple to play. I used to love playing the originals because it was easy. You just put it in the far corner, they won't get it. Whereas this time it's a lot smarter AI for starters. If you knock it across them, they will actually run after it and knock it back to you. Whereas previous ones, they just sort of leave it. So I mean, it's all right. It's a tennis game.
Tennis games can be cool. Like I've enjoyed tennis games in the past, and Super Tennis used to play a lot, and some virtual tennis from one of the series. And they're kind of just. You can just sit down with anyone and you can have a good play with it. But they don't. I don't know what the fun is of it. It's like they almost it doesn't feel like it's worth the same price as a normal game, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just tennis.
Yeah.
It's.
But I feel like that about driving games as well.
Okay. Then I suppose that's totally fair. Although driving games can offer you a little bit more variety than say a sports game.
Yeah. But it's still driving, isn't it? You're just going around in circles technically.
Well, yeah, but not always. You've got stuff like Twisted Metal where you're shooting or whatever, or your split second where you're deforming the terrain or whatever, and there's different types of... But it's not as standard as, say, football. which is you don't get guns in football, although you should get guns.
So make it more entertaining, yeah.
So virtual tennis, it's alright? It's not bad?
It's alright, but I played it for 4 hours and I went through the whole of World Tour Mode, which is their main feature where you go through 4 years of making yourself a rookie up to the highest. Did that in just under 4 hours and it was just really poor after that. I played it online, won the first match, thought, oh brilliant. Then played 4 more matches and everyone left just before the end. And also the problem is they don't get penalised, but you do as well. You lose your streak. Like for instance, if I win 2 in a row, I get a two streak. Then if someone is losing then leaves, your streak goes back to 0. I gave up on the online part just because of that.
That's a shame for that sort of game as well. You'd think that would be quite integral. Alright, okay. You also played Brink. I think we've all seen Brink, haven't we?
Yeah,
we saw it not so long ago. And I've played before a long time ago. Brink's an interesting one because it's got mixed reviews. It's got both good and bad.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to it, but overall, people are saying it's a bit naff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a weird one. I feel like people don't understand exactly what Brink is. I certainly didn't up until this point. Was that it's far more multiplayer centric than anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
They've kind of not said anything about anything for a while on Brink, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, P.S. Don't expect any campaign really in this. It's just multiplayer. It's almost got like a Mindjack vibe to it, where you can jump into other people's games and play the other side, sort of stuff, isn't it? Now, I've not played it properly. Cheryl, you have. Is it as bad as we think?
Yeah. It's just ridiculously slow. For a game that's supposed to have so free-flowing movement, it's just so slow.
That's a good point. So all the parkour stuff, all that, I found was like really, like it barely matters.
It looks sleek, like when they're showing on the trailers, like it's so seamless. Whereas if you do it on the game, it just looks terrible. Yeah.
And you don't have to do it. It's like you very rarely have to do it. It's the sort of thing you'd think if they had a campaign mode, it would be made to do it, and it would be kind of a cool thing. But
like that.
That's kind of nice. I still like the look of it. It still kind of gives me this cool sort of Shadowrun vibe to it, which is kind of nice. But it also looks kind of Bioshocky. It looks like a sort of Bioshock 2.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like I said, if you play it on your own, it's boring. You've got terrible AI where you just die and go straight back to the beginning level. This is one of the main things. You have to take control panels so you're closer to your objective. But if you don't do it yourself, very rarely will the AI do it. So if you lose it, you can either run out of battle and run back and get it back, or leave it. But then when you die, you get put straight to the beginning of the level. So you have to run for a good 40, 50 seconds to get back to where you were.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I did see so lots of stuff like when people are playing, it just says, guard the door!
Yeah.
And it's like, brilliant. That's that. Like, thanks for the most exciting objective ever. I'll guard this door, you know? You'd just be a shock because I was guarding a door. Thanks. It looks. The whole thing just smacks of like, well, this would be cool if it was on side of a campaign, of a proper fleshed out campaign, but by itself just doesn't seem to look like much. It looks really polished. It looks like a really polished, cheap game.
Yeah, I think a great Xbox Live title. I think they could have pushed it. Just scrap a couple of the stupid bits.
I suppose the argument is, does that ever work? Does having a multiplayer only Xbox Live arcade game, has anyone really done that?
No, well, there's been a few, hasn't there?
There's Battlefield 1943, which did alright, I think, but is anyone still playing it now?
Yeah, what was that other one? Black
White Tango Down.
Yeah, that went really bad.
Section 8 Prejudice.
Yeah, that again went really bad.
It's it's not something I'd want to be putting a game out as for that. You'd think it would work, but it's just like people don't invest enough into $10 XBLA multiplayer shooters.
I think you'd have to have a pretty full-on advertising campaign to get enough people to buy it at the same time. I think it's the problem.
But even that, I'm not even sure if sales are necessarily the problem, just that people don't stick with them. Like 943 did really well, but no one's still playing it. But then I suppose they've short lifespan anyway, they're just not supported for as long, as well as new maps and updates and stuff.
I mean, personally, I think if say for instance Brink was going to be a Xbox Live title, if they campaign for it like a retail release, and maybe, I don't know, make it a little bit more available. It's hard to explain. Like, actually, like, it sounds really weird, but put it on disc for the people who are not who don't like putting their credit card details through or buying Microsoft points. Because I think that's a big issue as well. People are scared to buy things off live.
And the problem is, though, it's money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like, if you've already spent... I mean, Brink's not cheap, isn't it?
No.
There's a lot of stuff that's cost a lot of money. Manufacturing discs and stuff is going to cost a lot of money. And if you're ultimately going to sell it for less on XBLA to a smaller number of people, what are you going to get out of it? I suppose it's kind of forces the hand a little bit. But it's a shame, it's weird. It was a game that I'm really excited about, and then all of a sudden just kind of gone. I found it really interesting, actually. Is one cool thing I thought was kind of weird in it was when you're setting up customizing your character and you get to choose their voice rather than say Cockney or Australian or whatever, or describing the voice, gives you the actor's name, which is kind of nuts but quite cool.
And the other big thing that people were quite impressed with, regardless of whether they liked the game or not, was the quick switch button selections, which Gears of War layout.
For the controller things, they're quite clearly like riffs on popular things, which is, I mean, it's how it should be, right? We should just have all these. I think whatever's the most common stuff should be in there.
It's what people have wanted for a long time in first-person shooters, and you'll probably see it being ported into other games.
And I mean, it's a nice idea. It's a good way of just being inclusive, of going, actually, all right, we know you play all these big games, and you're not going to stop playing them. We might as well make it as comfortable for you to come over and play this game as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
No, that's cool. So what else have we been playing? Anything else from you, Sean? What have you been playing recently?
Portal.
Portal 2.
Yeah, Portal 2.
What do you think of Portal 2?
Awesome.
Love it. I think that's kind of the consensus. I think it's okay for us to talk about Portal 2 now, because given the intensely story-driven nature of the game, and it's now been out for a month?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Maybe. You know, if you picked it up, you've played it, you've seen all the bits now. So we're not going to worry about spoilers. If anyone is worried about spoilers for Portal 2, get the hell off our podcast now. But otherwise, you're probably going to be cool. They go to the moon.
That's harsh.
So Portal 2, and there's a lot about that game that is seriously awesome.
Yeah.
Nailing it again from Portal 1. The script is fantastic. GLaDOS is cool in this one. I don't know if she's as cool as she is in the first one, but she's easily beaten by Cave Johnson.
Yeah, and Wheatley. GLaDOS definitely is the kind of bottom rung in terms of star power in this one. She was a bit more kooky in the first one, I think.
Yeah, I suppose the first one's got more of that vibe of I am a machine supposed to do something and I've gone wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas the second one, she's much more of a kind of a person, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's cool the amount of backstory you get in that game as to setting up the whole Portal experience.
Yeah, if you're paying attention, definitely.
Even if you're not, it's kind of everywhere. You go back through Aperture Science through the years.
You could quite easily overlook what you're seeing.
I mean, so just to clarify that statement, you could quite easily overlook what you are seeing.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because when I open my eyes, what I'm seeing is very much there. It'd be very difficult for me to avoid that.
You wouldn't necessarily put it into context.
I suppose. I think it's quite in your face on some stuff.
Yeah, unless you're paying strongly attention.
The assumption, I guess, would be that probably most people playing Portal 2 are.
Most people are, yeah.
Because it's known.
But not everyone.
Okay. Well, fuck those people. Idiots. So it does a good way of expanding the world. The story is kind of cool, I think. It's got some good twists and turns.
Excellent twists, yeah.
It's got some amazing moments in it. The moment where Wheatley changes his mind and becomes the bad guy is just an incredible, Pixar-ish moment, I suppose, of cinematics. The ending's awesome. And it's just damn funny.
It is very funny.
So, a game only has to make you laugh out loud 3 times, and you're like, that's already something special now. Games don't normally make you do that, or certainly don't intentionally make you do that. Yeah. And it's very intentionally funny, which is not easy to pull off. I want to be curious to know how much of it was written and how much of it is the actors. How much of Wheatley is just Stephen Merchant, and how much of it was, scripted out by Valve.
I don't know if the Xbox has got it, but the PlayStation definitely has. You can play through once you complete it or get close to the end. You can play through a commentary from.
That's on all of them. Some of them, yeah. It's just I think it's what Valve will do for every game now because they've had it for Left 4 Dead and stuff. Yeah, that's quite good. So it's definitely
not
worth
that I've
going
done
through.
it. Not
But you
that
should.
I've played
You
through
should.
it,
It's definitely worth it. If you're interested in it, it's worth going back through. Obviously, you get to play the game at the same time. So Portal 2, yeah, it's kind of awesome. Portal 3, anyone? Would you?
I would play it.
So Portal 2,
I don't know if they'll make it.
they'll definitely, they've got to make it. It's huge. They've got to make it.
From a money point of view, I guess. I'm talking artistic.
It doesn't matter, they just pump out the same stuff. That's kind of what they need to do, you know?
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting that Portal 2 initially started out as a game that was set in the past of Aperture Science without any portals. It was going to be like a Bioshock type thing.
Right.
Which it would thank hell they didn't do it, you know, but it's interesting that they had that as an idea, which means potentially they could expand the universe in that way, some other way. They can't go any further forwards. We just keep jumping forwards through time now. Going back would be quite cool. It'd be quite cool to see a properly running Aperture Science or something.
Yeah, it would be very interesting.
Or even some of the more sort of crossover stuff with Half-Life. But that's a whole different kettle of fish. I don't know. Portal 2 was awesome. What other games have we been playing? I feel like I've been playing stuff, but I haven't. I'm playing Halo. That's kind of been it at the moment. Is there any good XBLA stuff that's been up?
I haven't bought anything recently, no.
No, same as.
I'm waiting. Obviously, there's Fallout DLC, Honest Hearts.
How can they still be doing Fallout DLC? Doesn't anyone care about
it's
Fallout?
It's for New Vegas. Yeah, quite a lot of us care about Fallout, yeah. Thanks.
It's been ages. It's time to let go.
No.
Yeah, I'll be buying that next week, so I'll be looking. I'm very pumped on.
You did buy. I do know you bought something recently. No matter how much you try and cover it up, you bought Fancy Pants Adventures.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's okay. My daughter plays it more than I do.
I've heard like all right things. It's kind of got a Explosion Man sort of Sonic Hedgehog sort of vibe to it.
Yeah,
or like M maybe M plus where you're jumping off the walls and stuff. Like a meat
bit of cross between M plus and Sonic is a fair kind of evaluation.
I didn't like the look of it.
Yeah,
that kind of sketchy, very flash animation sort of stuff.
It was built from Flash initially on PC, wasn't it? I think that's how it was released over the internet.
Yeah. A lot of customization though.
Yeah. The kind of helmets and hairdos and...
I'm not buying XBLA games.
There's not been much up recently. The past couple of months.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to. They don't. I don't know. There's a lot of nap stuff.
I think to date, Shadow Complex is my most played Xbox Live title.
It's definitely one I went all the way through and finished, but
I did it a couple of times, got 100%, so I got all my golden guns.
But even Shadow Complex, it was a long time ago, and it just feels kind of old now.
Yeah, I would like to see a sequel to it.
I suppose E3 in this couple of weeks, we're going to hear loads of announcements of XBLA games. They'll do their normal thing where they do their like, hey, here's our rush reel of titles coming out, and that's probably where I thought where most weird exclusives will be.
Yeah,
so that'd be interesting. I mean, there's remakes coming. Everyone's doing their little HD remakes of absolutely everything. Like Mortal Kombat Arcade Trilogy was announced, wasn't it? Which was kind of great. And like when we heard about it months ago, it was like, yeah, that's awesome. I really want to play Mortal Kombat online. Cool, nice HD remakes of all the old Mortal Kombat arcade games. And now Mortal Kombat's come out.
Yeah, they should probably
we just don't even need it now.
Should have dropped it before Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Mortal Kombat 9, it just, when you initially get it, it just sucks up your life.
Well, it's just, the thing is, it's all the Mortal Kombat you need. It's kind of, as far as I'm saying, that's definitive Mortal Kombat. It still feels like the old ones, it's got all the cool characters you want in it, and it looks amazing. I don't need the arcade trilogy now.
No.
But, I don't know, people want it. Fighters then being back. Soul Calibur's been announced. It's new Soul Calibur, isn't it? So is that just Soul Calibur 2?
No, 5.
5?
Yeah.
Soul Calibur 5?
Yeah.
Soul Calibur's awesome, so that's cool that it's coming back. You hate Soul Calibur, don't you?
I hate Soul Calibur.
Why do you hate Soul Calibur?
It's probably from some throwback thing from playing against Nabrago the Great, who just constantly floor fights. So as soon as you're down, he will just whip you to death.
So just to clarify, Nabrago the Great is one of your friends?
Yes.
So no one will know?
No.
But that's okay, but he's great. I just thought with you, because being the Great, I just want people to go, maybe I should know who he is.
No, to be fair, he named himself Nabrago the Great.
Alright, okay. But he kicked your ass in Soul Calibur and that gave you a bad experience and they didn't like him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Well, I'm psyched for new Soul Calibur.
Definitely.
It was a good-looking game. And weapons are cool. So we Soul Calibur back, Mortal Kombat back, Street Fighter back.
Tekken, obviously, it was
Tekken
back.
coming
Recently
back.
Was number 6.
Yeah.
It just leaves Virtua Fighter and Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, I'd be there. Virtua Fighter can do one.
You reckon? And yeah, I'd say probably Virtua Fighter is the most likely to come back. Because like Sega are still pumping out games. They could do another Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter 5, did happen. Wasn't terribly long ago. It was 4 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, it was about that.
They could do another one of those. Seems like quite a simple thing to update. I don't like Virtua Fighter at all.
No.
Killer Instinct would be awesome, but I just don't know if that's someone I want to come back.
It'd have to be done very carefully. I think Killer Instinct.
But I mean, when I think about Killer Instinct coming back, the things that worry me about it are the things that worried me about Mortal Kombat coming back.
Yeah.
And they pulled it off. Because Killer Instinct had that very distinct look again of the digitised characters and stuff.
It was all kind of pre-rendered graphics, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which looked kind of cool back then.
It looked a lot better in the arcade than it did on my Super Nintendo.
I suppose there is that.
But it was Killer Instinct in my house. That's all that mattered.
Killer Instinct in my house. Yeah, Killer Instinct was cool.
It was very.
I can't remember much necessarily about it. Like ridiculous combos that went on forever, which we kind of stayed away from now. Like games go out of their way to try and stop that from happening. But what was it, like 150 odd hit combos and stuff?
I don't know if I ever pulled off 150 hit combo. I think kind of around the 60 mark with Orchard and stuff. Yeah, there were big combos, but I don't think they did particularly a vast amount of damage. And the killer combo at the end was it was the end of it, so it was irrelevant. If you're whacking someone with a 50 hit combo at the end of the fight, doesn't matter how.
Oh, okay. So only like the first 2 hits, the ones that do any damage. Then you've got like 48.
It just goes into an automated thing, doesn't it? You basically do a dragon punch with whatever punch button is required.
Killer Instinct's another one of those games that did have a definitive like arcade fighting game voice attached to it. Like Virtua Fighter didn't have one. Street Fighter has the whole KO stuff, and Mortal Kombat with its whole fatality and stuff. Killer Instinct did have a voice.
Combo breaker.
Exactly, yeah. Which I think is important in a fighting game. I think it's kind of important in any game.
Right. Yeah. To define yourself.
Yes, and to define yourself with an announcer's. But no, but it's a cool thing. Halo is made better by the dude that goes cool-tacular.
I guess.
Again, Call of Duty doesn't really have that. It just goes dun 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 whenever you like level up or something.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck? Whereas it's not the Halo stuff is nice to go and by the way, you killed 2 people there. It's kind of thanks. They're really kind of really obvious. Kind of like an obvious announcer. Daytona with his rolling start.
You love the rolling start.
Everyone loves the rolling start.
It just sounds like you're after self-gratification.
Well, it's feedback. It's usually feedback, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's like
so you just want them to go, you are awesome, and that's it.
I'd certainly have no problem with the game doing that.
Right, okay.
One of the best things about Samba de Amigo is the crowd cheering stuff you get at the end. They're so happy for you. That's a big deal. I think games got to have heart. What's that? Is it Connect Sports where you can urge the crowd on into like Mexican waves and stuff? Love that. Great idea. Every game should do that. So it's important to have a voice on in the game. Anyone been playing anything else recently? I've been playing a little bit of Pinball Effects. It's addictive and cool, but that's kind of that. It's pinball.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pinball.
No. Pointless.
Pointless. And as pointless as anything else.
No, it's just like, if you're going to play pinball, play it on a machine, not on your Xbox.
I don't have a pinball machine. There's the fundamental thing. It's like saying if you want to shoot people in Afghanistan, go over to Afghanistan. It's like I'm just firing Call of Duty.
It's a lot simpler than going over to Afghanistan, though, isn't it?
Well, it's still shelling out $4,000 for a machine and carting it up the stairs and setting out in my living room.
Because you're in Hastings and live by the seaside, going to your local arcade.
Right, yeah, I could do that. But the quality then of pinball machines, also, there's not a lot of pinball machines. You find me a pinball machine. There ain't many left.
Yeah.
You can find a frickin' fruit machine and a grabbing claw thing.
It's also Hastings, so on every street corner pretty much.
What? What's on every ship?
Fruit machines.
Right, okay.
Not grabbing claw machines.
But anyway, we wanted a pinball machine. We get it, it's not as good, fine, whatever. Yeah, alright, cool. Anything to add? This is your moment.
Can't think of anything.
You don't have to say you can't think of anything. We realise if you don't say anything, you don't say anything. Alright, fine. Sorry, that's what we've been playing. We can come back with other stuff if we think of it. We should probably take a look then at the day's top stories in news. No, so there's been some big news coming recently, and today was a bit of a revelation for one of them. PlayStation Network obviously got hacked a month ago now?
Thereabouts.
And it was all, we won't cover too much, but massive disasters, credit card details exposed, Sony not telling everyone hates Sony,
Fire and brimstone,
how are we going to do?
Sky.
Exactly. All of SOE Online's titles went down as well, so it's separate to PSN, so all the PC MMO stuff as well. But today it's back. In fact, last night, as I sat down to watch Event Horizon on Blu-ray,
You got an update.
I got an update from PlayStation 3 and it logged in and it was like, whoa, I'm back. And it kind of made me feel uneasy. Kind of made me feel a bit uneasy. Well, not uneasy, it was telling that I've lived in this place now for just over a month, and that was the first time I'd set up the PS3. And even doing that, I felt like in the wake of the entire hacking experience, is it wise? Like as I was turning it on, I hesitated before I pressed the button, as if to go, as soon as I hit that button, we're going to just transmit my own DNA to a bunch of hacker fucks that are going to start making clone armies of myself. Just something felt bad about that, but then I did it anyway. And then, it was all of a sudden working, and I was like, I don't know, why should I even be using this now? But it's back, it's fine. I'm a bit disappointed because I wanted to see how Sony were going to handle it at E3. And it'll still be interesting to see how they do handle it at E3, because they've kind of got to come up and go, they've got to say something, they've got to go, yo, bad. But hey, look, some cool games. But they can't just not say anything, and they shouldn't joke about it. This would be my advice to them. Microsoft, however, should totally joke about it. So it's kind of back up. It's not fully up though.
No.
Like the online play, I believe, is not there yet. But you can download updates. You could always download updates though. Updates for games were still working. There was some weird stuff that was still working, and weird stuff that kind of wasn't. But it looks like it's coming back. Everyone can relax. It's good news for people that only own a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
They're still getting a below par service, but it'll be interesting when all the compensation starts rolling out of free games or whatever they're going to do. And poor Sony, but also they could have handled it better.
Plus they're arseholes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they can be. They're not always arseholes. Another news, Square Enix got hacked. Yeah, that was a fun day. I came into the office and everyone was freaking out because it was up. Actually, first I heard of it because it happened during the night when I was at home. I was reading on the internet. Deus Ex website's been hacked, and we were kind of hacked, which was kind of fun. No big problem with that, which is kind of cool. There's a statement out there from Square Enix, nothing to do with me. But that was fun. Hackers, man, it's all the rage. In fact, we're going to call this segment "Fuck You, Hackers," because that was just a really awkward and annoying day for me, and everyone freaking out online, mainly because of the Sony hack previously. So thanks guys. We covered a bit of news, some new games that are coming out, Soul Calibur and Mortal Kombat Arcade HD. Sean, you wanted to talk about Hawken.
Yeah. It looks awesome.
What is Hawken?
It's the YouTube video. And
it's much more than YouTube.
That's how
I can't wait for that YouTube video to come out, man.
Fuck you. And your stupid face.
It's the first time a YouTube video has been released on Xbox Live Arcade.
The only way to view it is as a YouTube video. And it's multiplayer, first person, mechs.
It's an indie project, isn't it? Indie project, Unreal Engine looks and sounds. The sound is kind of my favourite bit of it. It sounds amazing, but it just looks awesome. Makes me miss MechWarrior 2.
It's kind of, to me, it's got a real sort of Gears of War feel to it. Obviously, because it's running Unreal.
Yeah.
But also, it's got the gravitas that the characters have in Gears with the chunking and the banging into stuff.
Well, it's kind of what I like to is they're fast mechs. Like, mechs are cool. They are cool. Big, hulking, freaking robot dudes with guns on their arms that fire more guns.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff is cool. But they're only cool when they're fast. Because, like, I don't know about you, but as a kid, like, I liked army stuff. You know, or action stuff or whatever. And I always liked army jeeps more than tanks. You know, tanks can blow the shit out of everything, but they're so slow that it was the speed that was kind of a thing. And it's the same for me with mechs. In that, like, Chromehound, slow, walking ass mechs, not interested whatsoever, boring, get lost. But fast, jump jetting around all over the place mechs, wicked.
Yeah, and you don't get many good mech games, to be fair.
Right, they're a punt, aren't they? They're very niche, you know.
Yeah. But you'd think.
Oh, and yet you say that. You say you don't get many mech games, but you do get quite a lot. You get Front Mission, Chromehounds we've had recently.
Armour Corps.
Steel Battalion's coming back. Like, there's quite a lot. And Hawken, that's already like 1 million.
9,000.
Yeah, over 9,000.
Yeah, but maybe there's not enough that are mainstream.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
Think giant robots. You think
Gundam games.
they would sell well. They don't, and they generally suck.
But they probably sell pretty well within their niche thing. They put, you know, like American football games. They sell incredibly well. Although that's probably a bad example because they just sell very well anyway. But they only sell to a core group.
Yeah,
and that's probably what, you know, things like Front Mission or whatever sell to as well. Weird, but I could do with a good one.
And Hawken looks like it could be a good one.
Yeah, it's if it ever comes out though. It's just an indie project, you know, that we're shopping around.
Hopefully it won't disappear. Hopefully people look at the YouTube video.
Yeah, it looks like they're coming.
I think the more hits they get, the more it shows attention being paid.
I mean, and they've got a bigger operation than just the video up. They've got a website up. They are posting updates, and I think there's stuff you can go and have a look at. There's more gameplay footage up there. We'll put all the links to all this stuff in the show notes anyway, so people will be able to go and check it all out. And any of the random crap we've spoken about will be there in the show notes on the site. Yeah, so cool. So Hawken was pretty good. E3 is coming. It is like right around the corner now. It's like a couple of weeks. I think it really is a couple of weeks. I know we're going mental at work for plans and preparations for E3 at the moment. It looks like it's going to be a good one. You know, new Nintendo console, new PlayStation, you know, portable, and obviously, you know, the ton of games that we're expecting to sort of see there. Yeah, it should be cool. Is there anything what are you guys expecting, or is there anything you want to see at E3 that you'd like to be there?
Medal of Honor 2.
Medal of Honor 2?
I did say. Just anything, if it's just a teaser, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I mean, they must be doing one, yeah? Have they said they're doing one? I don't know if they...
Not officially, but it sold too well.
Yeah, and when they brought the franchise, I mean, they did it to bring the franchise back. They're not gonna drop it. I didn't play Medal of Honor. It didn't look like it had enough for me. You really liked it.
I loved it, yeah.
I reckon probably you got a good chance of seeing that at E3. I'd be surprised if not. Although, I mean, they've just started dumping on all the Modern Warfare 3 stuff now. In fact, major leaks, that was the other thing. So, like, Kotaku got hold of, like, loads and loads of details on the campaign and plot of Modern Warfare 3 and just posted it online, which I'm not entirely sure about them doing that. But the detail is amazing. It's like every place you go to, what you're doing and everything. And some of it sounds pretty cool. I mean, yeah, okay, massive spoilers, and it does look like it follows according to these results, which actually Robert Bowling of Infinity Ward has said some of that's true, some of it's kind of not. But even so, you should stay away from it if you want to go in unspoiled. Does it matter if a Call of Duty game gets spoiled? Like, you know what it is before you go in. I don't really care about the setup.
I think, again, people like you were saying about Emil, and people having attachment, they get that with Ghost as well. The amount of people after Modern Warfare 2 said, I want to see a game with Ghost. People care what's happening to them, and with Captain Price as well. They do care about the characters to a degree. Yeah,
it just seems like it's always been, like they've been just dipping their toe in that side of things. Like the Price stuff's a good example. There's Prices and everything, and you know, people do love him, but they've never like taken it seriously enough to go, this is his story or something. This is just kind of like, he's here and a bit part player. It sounds cool, like, and they put a load of teasers out now for it, showing different capital cities and them sort of being blown up. So London was in there, Germany's in there, and Germany's not a city, obviously.
Yeah.
That giant city we know is Germany. But it does look like it's pretty cool. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be loads of that E3. I wonder if that will affect any Medal of Honor.
Yeah, and also obviously Battlefield 3 as well.
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably going to take a back seat for Battlefield. I think maybe Medal of Honor. If it is out there, they probably won't say for E3. I think they'll wait until Modern Warfare and Battlefield are out there.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
say this will be the next big game that you may buy, kind of thing.
Kind of makes sense. I suppose what else we're going to see? We might see some more on XCOM. We were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Because XCOM just kind of they showed it last E3 and to mixed responses, and I think they've now just not shit canned it, but they've completely redesigned it. We've still not heard anything. So we'll either see that, or I reckon it could just disappear into the nothing.
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, to be fair, it's quite a large franchise. Obviously,
it is, but not in that genre. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah,
it deviated quite heavily from the original form it had on PC, where it was kind of top-down, isometric view.
Yeah, it was like squad-based RTS type. Yeah. From isometric view.
And you was actually fighting physical aliens rather than black goo, which I think a lot of people were quite off-put by. But it did look like it had a lot of good concepts in there.
Again, really Bioshocky.
Yes, because it's kind of got that retro 50s.
I suppose, yeah, it's that kind of that look to it. The other thing that was rumoured for ages, but then was cancelled. I know OXM were going to have a big expose on it. Was the new Syndicate game?
Oh really? I've not heard.
And then it was pushed back, and they were like, "Oh no, we can talk about it." So if that's happening, that's likely to be E3, I'd imagine. That'd be interesting. Syndicate was cool.
It was very cool. It'd be interesting to see where they go with it.
Yeah.
And what kind of genre it fits into, if any at all.
Well, I think there's kind of room for that, isn't there? I mean, still, I guess interface is kind of a weird thing. It's not a typical console game.
No.
It's something that works really well on PC, but maybe less so. Really psyched about what's going to come out of 343. We know now that Bungie aren't at E3. That doesn't mean no Halo stuff, because obviously they're not doing Halo. And it also doesn't mean none of whatever Activision and them are cooking up with their 10-year deal, because Activision could show it without Bungie. But 343 will be then undoubtedly going to unveil this rumoured Halo remake.
Yeah.
And probably other stuff. I reckon that's probably not going to be the only Halo thing that comes out. It doesn't seem enough. That's kind of like, it's a 10-year anniversary, get that out there, that's kind of cool, it's a nice piece for fans. But they've got to show some sort of trailer for maybe a Halo 4 or Halo Wars 2.
I don't know if they... Yeah, I mean, Halo Wars 2 would be awesome. I don't know if they've got Halo 4 in the pipeline, whether they need to show it, because they've got the Halo remake this year.
Yeah, but then, so I think, the Halo remake is going to come out in November, it's got to, for the 10-year anniversary, so do they show something else not for this year? So you show a trailer for Halo 4?
I mean, they could do. I don't think they need to start hypeballing for Halo 4 yet, because it's not going to be out this side of next year's E3.
No, but that's alright, it doesn't have to be, does it? There's still a lot of games that we saw last E3 that aren't already out.
Sure. It's quite irritating, though, isn't it? It's kind of going, look,
but,
you want this?
But
have it.
But that won't be what they're thinking about. They're going to just want to win the show and get the most people talking about them and stuff. I think it's possible we might see a trailer, or I think it'll be something else Halo-based. I don't think that Halo... we were talking earlier about Halo 1, and you're not a big fan of it as well. Is it going to be much of a draw, a remake of it? Also, in a market that's steadily being flooded by remakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. It'd be cool to see how that's coming along. Evidently, the big news though is going to be the trade-off between NGP and Wii 2 or whatever it's going to be called. Interestingly, it's like Sony are going second, so it's kind of like Microsoft go first, I think, first thing in the morning on the Monday, and then Sony have got their conference in the evening, and then Nintendo afterwards. So Sony can't react to anything. They can't react to Nintendo's console. And they're obviously going to have a big push on NGP and showing off their cool stuff for it. That's going to be a really hard sell, going for like hey, here's our new console, and it's like you can put your credit card details into it and buy stuff, and that will be real fun, we promise. But I'm excited to see that, and so it sounds powerful enough to get me interested in PSP. But you almost feel like anything. Like, it's not a big reveal, is it? We've all seen the NGP now. They've had it on show. They've shown some of the games. That's not a big skip. It'd be cool to see some more stuff and actually know more about it. But actually, the Nintendo console's that announcement's going to blow that out of the water.
Yeah.
It's huge in scale and comparison. What do you reckon? New Nintendo console?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of rumours flying around with the control system and stuff.
Touchscreens.
Yeah, which means that buying a second one's going to be probably quite pricey in a market where handsets are pretty pricey as it is, because they're wireless and they bounce back infrared information and so on and so forth. So getting a full set of those is going to shorten your pocket, no doubt.
As if you have to. We don't know not knowing what the machine is and going on the craziness that is Nintendo. The machine could be 4 joypads.
Yeah,
pretty much. Do you know what I mean?
It's
it'd be really cheap to buy another base unit.
I think that the way they've set themselves up is they love accessories. It's kind of Nintendo's such a wacky company. I think you just got to sit and wait and see. I don't think any prediction's going to be on the money for what they're going to pull out their arse.
What would you like to see, though? Would you like to see a controller with a screen in the middle of it?
No, not really.
Do you want to still be waving your arms about? Do you want a normal controller? What do you want?
I'm quite happy with...
Nintendo phone you up. They're like, hey, ring, 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 ring. Hi, it's Sean there. This is Mr. Nintendo. We're just putting together a new console now, and we're wondering explicitly what it is you would want in a new console in order to make you buy it. Please get back to us. We'll definitely do everything you say. Love and kisses, Nintendo.
I'm quite happy with a 360 controller myself.
So then when you say to them, I want a 360 controller.
If they want to do some wacky Nintendo innovative camera into the console...
What do you need... What do you both of you here, what do you guys need from a Nintendo in order to make you use from a new console, in order to make it valid, make you buy one?
Launch with decent titles. That's what I want from any console, which none of them do.
Yeah, okay, alright, so you want decent launch titles, but is that what you want from them? Is that more important than the machine? Could they release...
I think software is the most important thing about any machine.
Alright, okay, but so
it doesn't matter if your fucking Nintendo can sing and dance and cook your dinner if you've got jack shit to play on it.
We get that, but what would you want for... So you'd be happy if they just put out new Wii games?
No.
So then
because that's not a new machine, is it?
Right.
That's a new Wii game.
So what's exciting about the new machine if not the games?
Well, the power.
Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So you want more power?
Well,
do you want more power?
We know it's going to have more power.
Well, we don't really.
Well, that's what's rumours.
It's rumours, yeah. But I'm just
saying it's going to be slightly more powerful than 360. It should be more powerful, significantly more powerful than 360.
Okay.
Because in a year or two, it's going to be superseded by Microsoft's new machine and Sony's new machine.
Yes.
So it's like they're playing a catch-up game, but they're not thinking about their forward. It depends
if they want to compete with that, and then how modular it is. Maybe they could upgrade it for when the next generation.
But your thoughts were that they could encroach onto the core market because people want a new machine.
When did I say that?
Let's not play that game.
You seem to be talking about
a conversation we've had. Yes.
Offline. Probably not the sort of thing we should be referencing in a recording.
Well, it doesn't matter. It was a conversation.
So it's a good point though. They've got a chance here to get first in on the game and make up a shed load of time. But whether they do that, it depends what their thing is. Are they going to get rid of Wii? Unlikely. So they're going to do something different to Wii? Probably, I suppose. Do they need to do much in order to make it successful? Probably not. If they're going for the hardcore, they just kind of need to make it around a 360 or a PS3, surely, and then just get those games, get the Call of Duties, get those Splinter Cells and the other big multi-platform games on their machine, and just kind of tart that up. I don't know. To me, Nintendo, I'm not sure what they can do in order to get me back interested in them. They need to kind of show me that they've got third-party support, and that other people, aside from them pumping out 1 or 2 games a year, is making games for their machine.
Definitely.
And it's got to be in HD. It's just like, gone is the time for a machine to not be in high definition.
Wii does look shocking on a HD TV. It looks absolutely dreadful.
It just looks old.
Yeah.
And those games look great when people have been emulating them on PC in high definition. They look great. The textures are there. They're still sort of lower polygon count, I suppose. But actually, when you up-res the textures to what they are on the disc, this game's going to look great. If a machine could do that, if I could plug Mario Galaxy into a Wii 2 or whatever it's going to be called, and it would just play it in high definition, that would be a big win. My prediction, guaranteed you can use Wiimotes on this new thing. Your current Wiimotes.
Well, I hope the whole thing is backwards compatible.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. You'd think it can't be too difficult.
I mean, Nintendo generally are pretty good for doing backwards compatibility, so I'm hoping that they're going to include backwards compatibility on it.
It's just, what does that mean if they're not giving up on the Wii? They've got two consoles that can both run the same games, which is kind of, it's not unheard of, but it's kind of unusual to kind of have that. They almost ever so slightly starts to put to bed the Wii, doesn't it? So you're like, well, why do you need one now if you've got this? And it's whether they're going to be at this stage looking to replace their massively selling console. I don't know.
Well, it was a massively selling console. I don't know how correct that is.
Yeah. They've seen
directly into their pockets.
Yes, they've seen a lot of decline in that sort of stuff through market saturation and stuff. But
second-hand sales are very strong on the Wii, but Nintendo aren't seeing that money. That's going into retailers' pockets.
Whether they need to or not, whether they can, I mean, it might be that it's just tapped out. There's a Wii everywhere. There's a Wii. There's a Wii in my pocket.
Right. You should probably keep Wii in your pockets to yourself.
Alright, so yeah, E3's coming, it'll be cool, I'm pumped, waiting for it. It's an exciting time, I like E3.
Yeah, it's usually quite good.
It's good, man, it's good. Watching it live, staying up late.
Yeah, don't do that anymore.
Bowl of popcorn, slippers, internet connection. Yeah, talk to me. Tell me some games. And then get all pumped up and then leave it.
And then wait 6 months for the games to show up in dribs and drabs.
That's pretty much it. But why's that a problem? You seem to have an issue with waiting for games.
Yeah, it pisses me off.
Do you wish then that...
I just wish that companies wouldn't reveal them quite so early.
You wish you were much more like movies?
It's kind of like 3 months. They should be dropping them and hyperballing.
So you wish it was like movies?
Not a year, not 5 years, not hey, look, here's Alan Wake. Yeah, you can't have that yet. You can't have that shit for 6 years.
But that is coming down. People are those gaps are shortening a lot. It's not as bad as it was. Admittedly, we've seen some ridiculous ones in terms of like Julie from Forever and things like that. But generally, stuff's not announced as early as it was. It's just kind of difficult for people to do it. And games change and projects close and whatever.
Obviously, that happens a lot more these days than it once did.
Well, it's a tougher market. Games cost more, involve more people. It's why you're seeing things with, Modern Warfare 3 being made by 3 different studios and Assassin's Creed being made by, 4 or 5 different studios or whatever. It isn't easy out there. So, I don't know. I kind of just want to see as much new stuff as possible.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of E3. But not long. A couple of weeks. In fact, we'll probably be doing the next episode right around E3. What date is it? It's like... We'll be a week before E3, so we'll get heavy into E3 rumour and speculation. I know publishers and everyone are showing their stuff sort of from next week onwards to like advanced screenings for press. So rumours are going to abound in the next few weeks, which will be cool. Anything else worth talking about?
Alan Wake 2, maybe?
Alan Wake 2.
Maybe.
They've said that... No, actually, what they've said that there's more Alan Wake coming.
Yes.
But it's not Alan Wake 2.
And it's not
DLC.
downloadable content.
Yeah, so it's an iPhone app or an XBLA game.
I think it's going to be a Kinect.
Really?
I think that's a massive possibility.
You sort of mime to write in a book.
You've got to realise in the game, torch is a massive thing. And you can see that being used, just moving your hand as a torch on the character running towards you. It seems like quite an easy move to make, and again to get a big name on the Kinect. Like we said with AAA titles, it's all a bit sketchy. Like there might be a Halo, there might be a
Gears as well.
Whereas this one, it would seem like the best move for them. I mean, obviously.
It's an interesting idea to think actually that Microsoft might just pump out a load of their big titles as Kinect games. Yeah. So Halo Wars, Kinect, Forza, Alan Wake. That would kind of make sense. Yeah, it was kind of a weird statement, Alan Wake. Alan Wake was cool. I really liked Alan Wake. Totally not what I thought it was, because it is just a third-person shooter for pretty much the entire game, and that's all you do. But it was slick, and the music at the end of each episode was kind of wicked. So I'd take more. I'd take more Wake. He was a writer. And I'd take more Barry. Barry was awesome.
Barry was awesome.
Barry.
I prefer to see Barry the game, personally.
Yeah.
Christmas tree lights.
Yeah, with the music as well. Barry was possibly one of the best characters ever made in a game. He was
I can vote for that.
What was his name? Barry Wheeler.
Yeah.
I don't know what his surname was.
That was good. So yeah, so Alan Wake. So not Alan Wake 2, but Alan Wake something.
I think it'll be a Connect one. I think it'll be a good move.
I wonder if it's some sort of setup for an Alan Wake 2. Like they'll go, and here's our XBLA Connect enabled Alan Wake game, and here's a trailer for Alan Wake 2. You know, and the Connect game's coming out next month, and Alan Wake 2 will be with you next year. You know, I wonder if it's something like that. Yeah, Alan Wake 2. I could go for some of that. Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, they apparently got a date now.
Oh.
Yes, November 10th next year, I do believe.
November?
Yeah, next year. Yeah, well, we knew it was delayed to next year.
I think it's got to be playable, surely, at E3 this year. We've got to show it playing. It seems like they've got to have some sort of blight on it, and they've got to show something else as well, like Metal Gear 5, maybe?
Can't see it, personally. I mean, they're going to have Snake Eater 3D, I think will be there.
I suppose that looks awesome as well.
Yeah, and are you saying about the new PSP? There could be a title for that as well. I think it's more likely than a fifth Metal Gear.
Yeah, Konami obviously support PlayStation quite strongly.
Yeah.
But do they still? That's the other thing. I mean, are we still going to see the same amount of exclusives tied to machines now that we used to? Or is that dying out? You know, it doesn't seem to make financial sense anymore to do that. I would love to see some like crazy curveball where like GTA 5 is announced as a Wii 2 exclusive, you know, or something nuts like that. But I just can't see it happening. Surely things have got to be.
Well, you think console studios would subsidise those making exclusives for them? That's you need to have exclusives. Otherwise, why not just buy the most powerful machine on the market and stick with that? Why would you own more than one machine?
Yeah.
So they've got a press.
The problem is there's more than one machine already exists out there, so it's like, well, better make a game for both of them to try and capitalise on it. Sony aren't going to give me probably. Oh, it's a punt, isn't it? Are they going to give me as much money as all future sales of all the games I make forthcoming if I put them on things? Kind of want to set myself up as a.
No, but at the same time, it's like, well, if we've got a new IP and Sony are offering us this large chunk of money, regardless of whether it sells well or not.
Do you think that's enough money?
We've already got ahead.
But how much is that money? I don't think it's enough.
Obviously,
do you know what I mean?
It's going to vary game to game.
But they're also going to say it before they know how good the game is. I don't think there's ever going to be enough. If your game's really good, if you're Naughty Dog and you're doing Uncharted 2, I don't think anyone would offer you enough money to compare what Uncharted 2 could have made if it was on 360 as well. You know, and there's not many people that can do that. It's Bungie, and they've been smart enough to break away and go multi-platform with Activision. And it's Naughty Dog with Uncharted. You know, I suppose the Epic stuff for things like Gears of War, if it was on PS3, would do well.
But then, kind of the other flip side of that is, well, we could spend all the money producing this for both systems, and then it doesn't sell.
Yeah, sure. But you're thinking but it could not sell on one system either.
Yeah,
and so it might as well be putting out in everyone's pocket. It depends how easy it is to cross over and stuff, but that'd be interesting to see. I think not a lot of exclusives. You know, people have got their stores. You're not going to see a Halo game on another machine, obviously. You're not going to see an Uncharted on a Microsoft machine. But aside from that, I think the big hitters that have been exclusives, the GTAs and Metal Gear, I think they're likely to be.
Well, Gears does look like this could very easily be the last Gears on Xbox only. I mean, they've been saying they said it after 2 that they do want to branch out into other formats.
I'd imagine it's got to be they'll just kind of dump Gears then, and just do like the next things like Gears.
Like that,
it's kind of like a multi-platform thing. Because Epic's a weird one because they do stuff for everyone.
Yeah.
They've just got that tight relationship with Microsoft.
Obviously, Bulletstorm was multi-platform.
Yeah,
and that was kind of to some degree a bit like Gears, but it's because it's made by the same studio. And
well, yeah, it was People Can Fly, wasn't it? That did Bulletstorm in sort of under that sort of tight, watchful wing of Epic.
Yeah.
You know, same way Chair do all this stuff with Shadow Complex and stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we could see something else from them. I mean, there'll be Gears 3 stuff. I'm totally off the radar for Gears 3. I feel like I kind of know everything about Gears 3 already from playing Gears 1 and 2.
No, I think there's going to be a lot more. I think there's going to be quite a few little twists. I mean, obviously they've got Beast Mode, which again, like you said, it's been out there for a while, but it's been a long time since they spoke about it. You don't know what else they've got.
Yeah,
you know
it's true. I've not played any of the beta. I still haven't gone the beta. Sean, have you played any of the beta?
It's finished today, by the way.
I finished today?
Yes, today is the last day.
Excellent. So, regardless of how Gears 3 turns out, I have had nothing to do with it.
No.
You know, I have not. If any weird random tweaks they made to my player, nothing to do with me. I didn't take part. You played it though, yeah?
A lot.
Do you like it?
I loved it. I don't know why it was still very Gears 2-ish, which wasn't good for me because Gears 1 was brilliant online, whereas 2, I can never explain to this day why I didn't like it. But it is really weird. Like, I don't see how I can love the first one so much and then hate the second one so much when it wasn't that different.
I wasn't keen on the second one. The second one was too. It was like they were forcing colour into it.
No, you got a point there.
Which was kind of odd. But I don't know. I've never been up for the multiplayer that much in Gears. It's kind of. I'm not up for third-person multiplayer games too much. You know.
Yeah, but no. In general, I mean, they've done a couple of things. Obviously, with the beta, they've done the on Easter Sunday. They did rabbit heads, just something quirky, just to
rabbit heads.
Yeah,
every character had a rabbit head.
Every character had a rabbit head. They did talk bow day yesterday, where everyone had talk bows, and you could just do whatever the hell you liked. And they also did big head mode. Which...
So that makes me seem like, are you taking this beta seriously, you fuckers? Or are you just playing around with your little options in the background? What did you need to know? What server information did you get from everyone having a rabbit's head?
They just wanted to know what sort of perks people would love to just see as stupid little extras, like the big head mode. They really wanted input on whether they want that at any point. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where it comes to Christmas this year, you're going to have everyone in Santa outfits.
Yeah, but that's
stuff.
Although I must admit, I do like Coltrane and his Thrashball outfit. That looks wicked. Everything else, I normally don't like it. It kind of breaks the fiction. You know, it's kind of like, why is this dude, like I'm in a post-apocalyptic world with a chainsaw gun, and this dude's got a rabbit's head. It's the same for Halo. It's like, why is this dude's head on fire? You've just ruined my game. You know. But I can see people kind of liking that, I suppose. We're getting down to everything now. Put a tag on your gun, colour your gun pink, have a gold lancer, wear a hat. Dude, it's just like, man, we used to be just soldiers shooting each other in the face. I miss those days.
No, I can never get enough of customisation. That's one of the reasons why I love Saints Row so much.
Yeah, but I do too. But I love customisation, but I don't like the stupid stuff. Don't like the stupid stuff.
Well, you don't have to participate.
I don't want to hit someone over the head with a dildo in Saints Row 3 or Saints Row 3.
Then don't.
I want to hit him over the head with a baseball bat because that makes sense.
Then do it.
But if I see you doing it, I'm gonna flip out.
I'm gonna do it deliberately now.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna dildo
that makes it
from now on.
Saints Row 3 anyway is something again I'm very excited about. 3
Yeah.
We know there's gonna be a big blowout on that. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
And we've not really seen that. They did the awesome. We never talked about this, but did the trailer, didn't they? They did it was like 37 seconds long, and 30 seconds of it were just titles. Did you all see this trailer?
Oh, no.
It was like the first gameplay footage of Saints Row the Third, and it's just a guy kicking another guy in the nuts, and that's it. It's awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. It'd be interesting to see what games they sort of ape, you know, in the wake of Red Dead and Just Cause and stuff like that. It's going to be over the top. Anyone play the Red Faction demo?
Yes.
In Evolution?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. The physics behind it are looking awesome. A couple of the guns were pretty badass. One of them, I had no idea what it did. The magnet gun is drew things together.
Just cool stuff in the game. You know, everyone's got
it's not quite as good as the grapple hook, no. But yeah, the whole kind of rebuilding stuff with your nano arm and
it's cool.
Singularity guns and explosives. It's sweet.
I like the look of it. I don't like the idea of it all being underground now. But
that's a throwback to the original Red Faction.
Yeah, sure. It's just that the Gorilla was easily the best one so far. It's like, well, I go back to that other stuff.
Yeah.
And I realise it's so they can more directly control the destruction and you can have more fun with it. I'm also not a fan of rebuilding stuff. Like, those games for me are about smashing stuff. I'm not really... And I get it, so I can break something, be screwed, and now I can fix it and I can go on.
Yeah.
But the imaginary tech behind making a wall appear out of thin air sort of ruins it for me. I call me a stickler, but
less kind of imaginary tech and more theory, isn't it? It's like nanotechnology.
yeah, I've no time for nanotechnology. I want a T-shirt that says "I've no time for nanotechnology."
We'll work on that. Get best people on it.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. We'll check it out. That's got to be out soon as well. In fact, there are things out soon. We should talk about things that are out soon. Red Faction, whatever it's called, Armageddon.
Yes.
Out soon, done it, in the bag. LA Noire is out soon.
Yeah.
Topical?
I'm kind of... I am hesitant. I'm slightly concerned about some of the stuff that I'm hearing, that there's no side mission.
I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. It's not like GTA, is it? That's the thing. Everyone's going, it's GTA, and it's kind of like stuff in cases. It's kind of not like GTA at all. I imagine it's going to be more sort of Heavy Rain-like. Not in terms of gameplay, but just sort of, I think the closest comparison is going to be like that. You're solving cases, you're looking at people's faces.
Right.
Yeah, no, I can get that. The state is very story driven.
Yeah.
A little bit more, so you can't compare it with GTA because I don't care if it had a story or not. I never paid attention. Like in GT4, I know Nico Bellic was in it. That was pretty much it.
Hey,
yeah, Nico Bellic.
Hey. He is awesome.
And Bruce, obviously.
Good old Brucey. Dude, so are we looking forward to it anymore? To me, it doesn't get it. The face is freaky, not realistic. They're freaky.
Rubber face.
Yeah, it ain't right. It's sort of like, and it's like, so what I'm looking at this weird rubber, terrifying face. Be sad or happy. Like, it's like, the tech is great. Oh yeah, you can see the emotions in the face. Look how confused he is. Look how it looks like he's smelling a fart. You know, but it still looks like a rubber, burnt-up Freddy Krueger face is having those emotions, even freakier than anything else. Don't like it.
I'm willing to give them a chance, Rockstar. They've done me in pretty good stead over the last couple of years. I mean, GT4 wasn't...
Hey, cousin!
It wasn't as good as Vice City and San An. Once again, the customisation options left me a little pissed off, frankly.
Yeah, it's kind of like, do you want these trousers? Or do you want these trousers?
Yeah. But Red Dead Redemption was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it was good.
I was saying yesterday at work to a guy who's going, I don't really like the look of it. I was like, dude, I wish I hadn't played it so I could go and play it now for the first
ending
time.
of that game. The ending of that game is spectacular.
It is.
You know, there's two bits. There's the ending of that game is spectacular. It's the bit where you go to Mexico and you get on your horse, and all of a sudden you've got the Jose Gonzalez track playing, and it's just like, man, this is mental. And then Undead Nightmare was awesome as well. That's well worth a look. Killing Sasquatches.
I couldn't find it.
Disappointing. One of the best bits in the game.
Zombies. Shot them.
Alright, well look. Is that all that's coming out? What else is coming out? Is there anything else coming out?
There's nothing of major interest kind of in the next week or so, no. Other than LA Noire, I think that's the biggest thing.
And when is LA Noire?
That's the
Next
20th.
Friday.
Yeah.
Next
Whoa. Okay.
Close.
Something's that Tuesday? Witcher, PC.
Witcher on PC, yeah.
Okay.
It's got a weird American release date for some reason.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So they've gone
Worldwide release, I guess.
Fair enough. Alright, well, we'll play these games when they come out, and we will check back with you guys in a fortnight's time. I think that's everything we've got done and nailed. That was Things We Play. That was episode 1. Obviously, you guys can catch us on Twitter at Things We Play. From there, you can find our personal accounts because I can't bother to list them here. But if I were able to list them here, you can find me at Mike Goldman, Shauna at Mako0, and Cheryl, you're at Little Mr. 360.
Indeed, yeah.
But in case you didn't catch all that rambling mess, you can catch us on at Things We Play. Check us out. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.